Soccer Club. Good evening and welcome to the locker room, good folks at home. It is an evening for despair and sorrow and apparently misogynist behaviour. We won't go into that, but welcome back. It is. Look, let me just preface everything by saying that sadness has befallen us before. It has washed over us. We have cried tears. Leonardo DiCaprio drowning in Titanic. I know I cried over that one. Bambi, of course, died. Bambi died. If you haven't watched the movie, understand this. Bambi dies.
Killed by Godzilla?
Yes, and Molly, of course, passing away in a country of practice. We all recall that. Sad moments that we've managed to recover from along the long, long journey to tonight's locker room, where we can finally say unequivocally and without any ridiculous sense of anticipation and joy and hope that Heidelberg United Alexander are going down. And with that, and I say...
Mathematically?
Oh, please.
Mathematically, I just want to know, because I didn't do any figures at school.
Okay, let me tell you. The side that we need to... And we say welcome to Dougie Hodgson, Robot Dougie. Poor Dougie's had another... now, as we know, we had a whole series of brain transplants. Once again, after that fantastic win over the Melbourne Knights a couple of weeks ago, the transplant brain actually popped inside his head. There was hemorrhaging and there was blood coming, so we rushed him to hospital. So he's now got a new brain, which is fantastic.
Hello, viewers. How are you today? Very good. Right. Lovely to see you this afternoon. Evening, sorry. Hello, Jonathan. Very nice to see you.
So Dougie, under some duress, is with us tonight, and so is JFOT. But look, we've despaired at many things. And look, to answer your question about the relegation issue, the side that we would need to overcome, apart from all the Zebras, is the Southern Stars, and there's more about that a little bit later from you, John. Southern Stars ostensibly need one more win, one more point, and the season is over.
So, Blake, you're in the right routine. Unlucky Heidelberg next year, we are going to be division now.
So what I would
unless they change the league format.
We are going to talk about that, but what I want to do, to give every Heidelberg United Alexander supporter out there watching the locker room tonight, and JFOT, you are a fanatic, and Dougie H, an ex-club champion, me, who's just tagging along because I have simply nothing better to do on a Thursday night.
He does really, sincerely, legend of football, guys. Don't you forget it out there, guys.
I have Jessica Alba on speed dial, and we'll be hooking up later for a coffee. But I want to just celebrate this great club with an enthusiastic, passionate and blood-pumping version of Alexandros! 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 So for those of you who are shoveling in the spades of dirt and despair on this great club, go and get stuffed.
Yeah, do not despair.
Go and get stuffed, because we'll be back, and we'll be back.
Bigger than Ben Hur.
Ben Hur.
We'll be back, thank you to these people.
I think you're fabulous, JFOT. Yes, let's run through the wonderful club sponsors who have not only supported the club, but the locker room, and of course our live OBs from home games. We'll be there on Sunday for the Northcote City home clash. More about that. But let's have a run through these fantastic people. And Dougie, you and I think it would be appropriate that if we give all the sponsors what we think in terms of, it would be like a movie review, okay? Yeah. If we like the sponsor, it's 2 thumbs up.
Okay.
If we're indifferent to the sponsor, it's 2 thumbs down. So let's go through them. These wonderful people who have supported the program. They've actually taken me off the dole queue this year, so I'm very grateful for that.
Sorry guys, but that was the truth.
Water finds its own level. Let's go through the sponsors we have.
I can't follow that one. Anyhow, thank you to the following people. Kinnixie Live.
Absolutely.
Ah, beautiful people down there, down in Richmond. ANZ Bank Northland. We love you, Josie, and the team.
Don't we love Josie?
Great, Josie.
I'd like to take Josie home and put her on the mantelpiece just to remind me of how lovely she is.
And what a great job and sponsorship they have done for the club this year. Thank you very much. And continue to do. Billy P at Prime Plastic Bags.
The Plastic Bag King!
We love you, Billy. We're waiting to see you on the show, brother. Where are you?
We've got to thank Billy. He employed one of the boys.
And I'm not being funny, but by the sound of things, it would have been a hard man to employ. Because he breaks shovels, he does all sorts of apparently.
The man Kiwi Zane.
The man Kiwi Zane, what a great job. He's gone in, got him through the door, spoke to the bloke, he said, mate, he's up to you. They give him the nod, and he's gave him a job down there. That is great, mate. Fantastic. Well done, Billy P.
Nothing plastic about Billy except the bags. Boost Juice, Dougie, down at Doncaster.
Nah, he's joking, it's mine. Got to do that. Mate, Beach Juice, love you too, guys. Come down and see me at Doncaster, guys. Want to see you down there. I'm down there in and out. Come and see me. Sweetie's giving the old nod. No, I can't move like a robot, but come and see her at Donny. Love to see us. Bring in your Heidelberg. Hang on, I'm going to go. Heidelberg supporters with the card. Come in and see me with the card. 25% off.
There you go.
That's,
you can't get a deal on that.
In
well,
fact,
you probably could.
We could.
You
Should
could
we go
get
50?
50% off.
50% off. Heidelberg supporters with the Alan Scott card. 50% off.
Dougie might be paying themselves.
Absolutely.
Wait,
What else have we got
50%
there?
off, Blake?
Chimneys.
Chimneys. Love you,
Fantastic.
chimneys.
Boy, we're labouring on this. Let's
Frost the group.
Love them, mate. Plenty of H2O.
And it's not that we love these ones less than the previous ones, but we
just
do
don't
want
want
to talk about soccer and we want to talk about the issue.
And
because-
Penners.
suspension.
No dancing
Absolutely.
gallery at the moment,
They're
guys.
Heidelberg Lights.
And yes, Heidelberg Heights,
Go and
which
see
is
when you need a bit of
quite
a-
different to Heidelberg,
Yes.
to lower Heidelberg or
It's a
medium
bit higher.
Heidelberg. It's very much, speaking of higher, Doug, how are you?
Black Swan dips.
And the Black
Love your
Swan
Black
dips.
Swan dips.
So look, once again, and sometimes we're a little bit lighthearted and a little bit glib, but the sponsors are the lifeblood of the club. They've been incredibly supportive of the team throughout the tribulations and trials of 2012. We thank them for their support right across the board. Let's talk issues. Now, JFOT, you came in tonight.
Issues,
You,
could be
you,
for a while.
you had your blood coursing
Did he?
through your head here.
Is that a
veins
haircut? That's
popping out.
why, isn't it?
Blood curtain and
And
stuff.
What a haircut Johnny has.
yes,
I've had a lot of hairs
home
cut.
haircut. Okay, that's hilarious every time you say it.
Well, it's only been
Let's talk about
fortnight since we were last year, but it sounds longer if you say 14 days.
anybody interested in talking about my rashes? No. Okay, now let's get on with why we're here. That's
I would actually like, because that means Blakey's had a bit of fun.
let's
Anyway,
talk,
go back to that later.
let's talk through. First of all, the defining round really for Heidelberg United Alexandria. Quickly,
Wrong page.
a run through the results. There's your life in a nutshell, baby. Round 18 of the Victorian Premier League season, and honestly, if you were going to have an exclamation mark drawn and an underscoring of the way the season's gone, Heidelberg got it at the weekend. We'll go through the other results firstly. Hume City 0, Oakley Cannons 1, Green Gully 1, Southern Stars 0. More
Call
about
those
Southern
two.
Stars later. Northcote City 1, the
Call
opponent on the
those
weekend.
two. That one, called North, done a draw for that.
You're feeling pretty good about yourself. Northcote City 1, Bentley Greens 1, of course, Moreland Zebras 1, Richmond 2, and finally the Melbourne Knights and South Melbourne at Knights Stadium finishing 2 each. And the key result there for us, obviously, Joe.
Saturday night down at Dandenong.
I was getting texts. I was in my scratcher, better known as your pit bed. Had a couple of drugs. I said to Nick, Nicholas said, "You coming down?" I said, "Mate, struggling." In his pit, I said, "Mate, text me the scores." So he's texted me 1-0.
Yeah.
Mate, bang, bang, I'm giving it. What's going on here? And I looked at the results. We were 3-0 down, Jay. What happened?
Basically, the boys were flat. And
All of them?
Dandenong collectively flat. I think the cup match over at Shepparton on the Wednesday might have taken more out of the lads than,
Well, it's travel as well, Johnny.
than what we thought. And look, full credit to Dandenong. They showed why they're the top of the table side. I mean, they just dismantled us really.
CT's done well there. Give it credit to her.
Well, look, they've got to be raging favourites to win their minor premiership, and then you'd think they'd go on
Should
and
go
win
all the way. They've only lost.
double.
Sorry, Greg. They've only lost 2 games. Is that right? Have a look, mate.
Yep, 2 games.
2 games, 2 losses, 4 draws.
So a quick run through the ladder then after round 18, and the critical element of course for Heidelberg United Alexandria supporters is the bottom of the ladder. We'll run through top 5 at the moment. Dandenong
Can
Thunder.
I say something, Greg? We stuffed, didn't we?
Look,
Not
I
looking
called it a
pretty.
long time.
Just
ago.
never,
So-
Just never so
I
slice.
was dialing that one in about 6 weeks ago.
I haven't actually said that.
Focus on
I've been giving the mathematical call, but
I know.
looking at that, we stuffed.
No, we really are stuffed. Dandenong Thunder on 40 points. Oakley Cannons 36-33, the Cavs. Northcote City, the opponents this weekend, Live OB, 3 o'clock at the Village. It'll be Dougie and I calling it, JFOT providing all the backup support and the foot massages. Northcote City down 29, Bentley Greens 28, Hume 24, well you've got this is wrong, where did you get this from?
Sorry.
That'd be Hume 26, 714, 24, no, 24.
Hardly been good help, like, you know, we
It
work with
really
SBS.
Richmond
Apparently.
25, South
all this
25,
research compliments of SBS television.
Hume City 24, in 9th position Melbourne Knights 22, Southern Stars rounding up the 10th position on 20, and the 2 relegation spots, Moreland Zebras 11, and unfortunately the Burgers at 9 points.
And just to summarise, as we said, that Southern Stars only need to get one more point for the season, and even mathematically it's all over Red Rover. So look, give it away now. Let's start forward planning. Still looking forward to the big meeting. I think it's on the 2nd of September.
1st of
September.
You've got 3, 4 o'clock, tell me the time.
Saturday the 1st of September, Floridian House down at 812 High Street, Thornbury.
Is it 4 o'clock?
4 p.m.
Okay,
Down there, all supporters.
if you care about the club and you want to have a say and a stakeholding in what the future might bring, don't you dare giggle at me.
You know what they agree with this, and I mean it?
Yeah.
This, like the board could be worried or the club could, this is not about attacking the board, this is not about attacking individuals or the jobs they haven't done, this is about getting together some businessmen or people out there that have got different ideas and opinions about the club of how it can actually go forward as a step or a whole. You might find out of this, Johnny, Greg, we might get 2 blokes there that want to help the board and they might be great and their attitudes and opinionated. So it's not about us nailing everyone because you can't change the past.
And Dougie, we had George who was here the other week who we talked to, and he reiterated again today, it's not about attacking the board.
It's about
He
making
wants
it
to
better.
find people that can actually help the board because the current committee have had too much to do with too few people left to do it. And they need a bunk up, so this is all about getting this club back up again.
And mind you, if George did want to attack the board, and I mean literally,
Picking up
I suggest the board might want to get out of the way.
Because George
Looks very suspiciously like a bouncer at the Metro.
Do you think you do okay?
That once dispensed to me in an unorthodox and yet effective fashion. Just quickly, it's Dougie. He could take up the entire back third. He's a big boy, the George.
A lovely man too.
Dougie Hodgson on deck, John Fotinos on deck, yours truly Greg Blake, Sweetie behind the camera. We're at the Casadel Sweetie, and we have wrapped up round 18 of the competition. Now there is so much news, and JFOT, you came in here with a full head of steam tonight before we got off air. I hope you haven't let the cat out of the bag or emptied your spillage. Please don't. Please
I'm
don't.
talking about Billy's plastic bags.
Billy's plastic bags. Well, when they're full, you probably need to empty them.
Well, I want to tee off on a few issues which are
Let it happen. Come on, this is Johnny out of
Before we go there, just one question. I want to know from both of you, because there has been some suggestions, it's just conjecture, we don't know anything, that Southern Stars, and this may have a really, really dramatic effect on the relegation issue. There has been some talk, some scuttlebutt, that Southern Stars may or may not be interested in maintaining their place in the Premier League in 2013. What do we know? What have we heard?
I don't. I'll leave it to Johnny, but what I will do for our next show, guys, you'll hear it live. I'm going to speak to the man that will know himself, Dean Hennessy. He's a good friend of mine, and a gentleman too, and a scholar. I'll ask Dino, and Dino will tell me straight. So the next 7 days, guys, I will get on the blower to do, and I'll ask him, and I'll have some news for us for the next show, so stay tuned on that one. But in the meantime,
look, I don't know any more than that, but if it were to be the case, you would think that they would keep the 11th side in there and only relegate
I drop 3.
Well, they may drop 3. There's even talk that no teams will be dropped and there may be a 14-team competition.
Can I say something here? This talk, by the way, has been in every time you hear relegation. I was involved at Richmond. Right, I heard exactly the same. Not the Southern Stars, but I heard about 2 teams coming up. And this was when the ACT team was in there. You know what I mean? So all that stuff below, it's bollocks.
Until it happens, you won't. There's no point talking about it.
I think you do tend, and that's such a good point, Doug, because back in the day when I was working covering the Premier League, the old Victorian State League, I remember on numerous occasions when big clubs were going down and all of a sudden the rumour mongers would start. I remember one year the old Brunswick Juventus team were up at the bottom of the ladder, and they protested 3 or 4 weeks in succession against the teams they were playing with, claiming an ineligible place. So it's desperation. But look, you never know. And one thing it does to Alexander supporters is gives us, look, you never know. It gives you a glimmer of hope. It means we've still got to chase on to maybe track down the Moreland Zebras, who are only 2 points ahead. So That's something, look, you never know, and you'll never know if you don't come to the ground and see the team in action
So
there.
we don't have facts, we don't have anything, guys. It all is in the open at the moment. I'll ask Dino. Dino will tell me. So we'll stay tuned for next week and we'll see what we've got for you guys. But realistically, is it out there? It has been out there in Greg's time, my time, Bobby Johnny's time. So guys, we're talking absolute garbage at the moment. So.
And fixating it would be really probably self-destructing anyway. We've actually got a plan forward because it's a big change, a manifest change next year if we go down to Division JFOT. You've got a lot of issues. You're really fired up about a couple of things. Perhaps we could talk quickly about, you've already mentioned about the cup win in that quarterfinals, which had 6 teams. Now quarters finals actually means there should be 8 teams, and we've been through that. Now you're outraged. Now we've beaten Dandenong Thunder, and of course we beat the Okie Patokis. What are they called? The Beverly Hillbillies or whatever the hell they were.
Not to belittle them, but
Oh no,
here's
no, they're not watching. They don't have internet.
Here's the goals like this.
Here's the beef, Ian.
Apparently, my eyes look.
You have a quarter-final draw in which you had 6 teams, 2 groups of 3.
We're talking about the FFV here, aren't we?
Heidelberg ends up on top of their group, having beat both teams.
Alexander's top of the ladder. Thanks.
And in the other group, Sunshine Georgies end up on top,
Not
Port
Georgies.
Melbourne and Pascoe Vale. So you would think the logical thing would be cross the 2 groups. In other words, the team that ends up first in Group A plays the runner-up of Group B, and vice versa.
Just on your math.
That's what they do
in the Euros.
That's what they do overseas, thanks, sweetie. But what
They
the
do that all over the
FFV
world.
puts it back in their hat, and of course, who does Heidelberg end up drawing?
Andy Thunder.
Danny Thunder.
Because
So-
they'll be playing for the 3rd time in probably.
well, it's not just that, but you've already beaten them in the quarter-final draw. So why would you have to play them again?
Okay,
in semis?
devil's
Why did they
advocate.
get another chance?
Devil's advocate. What I would like to know, because they were in a ridiculous draw situation where they had 16 full points. I'm going to ask you the question. Were clubs aware of this system prior to the competition?
I don't think
starting?
anyone was aware of anything. The supposed reason for having only 6 and not 8 teams in the quarterfinals, as it should be,
Melbourne
because
Heart, Melbourne Victory.
Melbourne Heart,
Yep,
Melbourne
yep.
Victory dropped out.
Well, that's
But
2 teams.
this
We
is-
just pull them apart.
This
in
is
the
what
season.
happened last
Season.
season. The same situation happened last season, and the FFA knocked back Melbourne Heart and Melbourne Victory
Okay,
from playing in the state.
Okay, but the specific issue you have is playing Dandenong Thunder.
No,
over
no,
everybody
the
in the
specific
cup
issue
competition.
I have-
If this system was established
Before,
prior to the...
or has it been made up?
I think,
as we
it's,
go
I think a
along?
lot of it, it's been done on the run.
How about you? Hang on. Can we do this, Blakey? You,
I'll
let's
investigate.
hope FFB asking these questions.
I'll investigate during the week and I'll
Investigate.
find out. But as far as I know, the semi-final draw, there was 4 teams left, and they just drew them out of a hat.
Sweetie.
Okay,
So-
so look, here's the bottom line for me, JFOT. I'm prepared to go fully on the attack. I will bring out the big guns, the MI-16s and the
MI5s.
heat-seeking missiles, and I will whip a
The
new
big
one for the
bazookas.
FFV next week. If you can tell me unequivocally that that was done on the run, because if it was done on the run,
That's
that's a
appalling.
bloody disgrace.
It's appalling.
It is
It's
a bloody disgrace.
Appalling.
Having said that,
And
if
why
Heidelberg
not?
United went into this competition
Knowing.
with that system already in place, you have no grounds for
No,
complaining. Fair enough?
I'm complaining about the ad hoc manner in which it's done.
Well, we need to know it's ad hoc. if that's what I'm bringing
And
up.
well, it was done ad hoc last year.
You're just angry because
No,
your
no.
head looks bigger, because your hair's shorter.
And I think- I'm angry too
And it's
because
fallen out.
the other issue too is the fixturing that the clubs had to undergo
And I think
in the
that,
last
yeah.
few weeks
But hang
has
on,
been
has
ridiculous.
has every other club gone along there as now, or just Heidelberg?
We've had ridiculous.
I know we have. I know we've got midweek.
over
There's
the
other
last-
people. There's other people had midweek too.
Well, not Dandenong. They played the week before. They
Okay,
played
so
something the week before.
we're the only team that's had a Sunday, Wednesday.
The boys have
Saturday.
had 20 days with 6 fixtures in 20
And has
days.
anyone else in this league had the same?
No.
Okay, so it's
Categorically no.
okay, so it's a tough draw. I
It's
know
a
you've got
tough-
another issue. You were talking a little bit about South Melbourne and their
No, I
involvement.
was also going back to the cup fixture. They decided to play the cup fixture midweek against Cobram Victory in Shepparton.
That's just really, I'm going to stop you here. What they've done there, mate, is absolutely diabolical. 5, 7 o'clock, getting up there, people are going to work. I'll go on record here. Who's the imbecile who actually organised that to happen and didn't actually look at the operation systems that people have to travel, play work? We ain't professional here, guys. We're semi, we're amateur, whatever you want to call it. They don't get paid, do they? They're amateur.
It's a
How do they
two-hour
get to work 2-hour trip? That's just not logic.
It's a
I would
2-hour
like to know who's the individual, or the people.
And I'll go you further, Dougie.
It's appalling.
At the ground.
It's appalling.
I'll tell you about the ground. Great. Apparently the surface was pretty good.
So no one checked the ground. Goals were like this apparently.
The goals were actually portable goals. So Chrissy May, every time someone leaned on the goal...
I want to know the rules of that, please. Are they allowed to be portable? OHS.
Also, no ground marshals.
OHS.
And players and match officials had to actually make their way through the crowd to get to the room.
Can we ask this? Let's go on tape for this because mate, you're going to pull the guns out now. If that was Heidelberg, we would be fine. If that was Melbourne Knights, fine. Richmond, fine. Anyone, fine. Why ain't they fine? But better still, don't find them. What are they doing in the actual cup rounds of instance when they haven't got the facilities to be professionally or better OH&S code of conduct to make sure that these players are safe in all these situations?
Well, why not make them
What have you done?
and play at a venue in Melbourne?
Alright, what I'm going to do now, ladies and gentlemen at home on the locker room, I'm going to turn John's bitch down from 11 to about 8. And
Johnny's not happy, I'm just fuming.
Doug's bitch down from about 10 to about 7. So boys, let's, before we do anything else, let's celebrate the wonderful supporters of this program. Kinesi Live, ANZ Bank Northland, Prime Plastic Bags, Boosters of course, Jimmy's, the Froster Group of course, Peter Suspension and Black Swan Depth. We thank them all for their contribution to the locker room. Of course, every Thursday night, except for the Thursday nights when we're not on, which are intermittent at best, and of course live broadcasts of all the home games. And we will be going live on Sunday, this coming Sunday, 3 o'clock, at the Village, the famous ground. DH and Greg Blake, along with JFOT and of course Sweetie and all the rest of the crew, with the big game against Northcote City, and that's a 3 o'clock start on the internet on the weekend. So now,
hang on, are you feeling a little bit easier? Like he's turned it down? Actually, are you okay, or do you want to have another go?
Mate,
Come on, let's have another go.
I'm having a go next week about another issue, so I'm going to say
don't hold back in England
about the NCR and ECL stuff. But that's enough. Don't get me started on that.
okay.
But we're going to talk about this weekend's games, of course.
Shall we do that?
Because the Tigers still have a chance to overtake Fallen.
Yes, we do. And look, I just want to say something too. You know what's really impressed me tonight is that JFOT, who's usually the most laid-back, lackadaisical, lovely chap, happy chap, really, and it's not just the haircut that he's having to wear in
looks
public.
good, though, doesn't it?
Does it?
It's the realisation that we're getting
got jelly there,
wrong.
I don't mind. I don't mind about a month ago.
But what is fascinating is, and you think that people don't bleed the colours of this club,
Black
the
and
black
yellow.
and yellow, the golden, golden
Gold,
black.
we just call it gold.
JFOT is, I think he's, would it be unfair to say, and I'm asking you on a human level, quite seriously, clearly the concept of the club finding itself in the place that it's in now, it really has dug deep, hasn't it?
Of course it has. Been a supporter for over 40 years. Mum's uncle was one of the founding members, so there's a family tie with the club, and of course it hurts. I mean, we need to have this club at the top level.
All the time, but it has been a big week for the club, and there are so many issues to talk about. Let's look through what's to come, gentlemen. Your analysis, please. Round 19 of the Victorian Premier League this weekend. Bentley Greens hosting the Zebs at Kingston Heath on Friday night.
Bentley will do it.
Yeah, Bentley
Bentley will do it.
starting to really hit their straps. Yeah.
They're doing okay, Bentley. But,
And Waller Zebras really have pretty much fallen in the heap.
they've gone off rails. I mean, people have left the club and other bits and pieces. Is that true or false?
Well, here's some guys. Jeff Olver, who was coaching there, was on the bench with George Katz last Saturday night.
So there's an old head coming back to help, maybe.
Which is fantastic.
Or he's got the flick from Morelands, one of the other guys.
George Bleepin Katsakis can news all the bleeping help he can
J.O.'s
get.
a lovely man, Chucky Norris.
Sit on the bench, Bleepin Walrus. Okay, Oakley Cannons more.
And don't move, Chucky.
Oakley Cannons, Melbourne Knights. That's Friday night at the
Having a great game, Oakley.
Yeah, I reckon Oakley might
It'll be a good game, Oakley will get up there.
Yeah.
Richmond, of course, hosting the team that we don't acknowledge as being a real team, the Southern Stars, Friday night at the... Well, they didn't exist when I was around.
I'm going to go with draw there, but I reckon Richmond will do them.
Richmond will
do them.
getting under the radar this season.
Old chats.
They're chance for the finals.
Out there. Yeah.
Hume City at Green Gully on Saturday at 3 o'clock.
That's going to be a great game. That'll be a good game. I'm going to go to Gully then. At home.
Gully, probably the odd goal.
Yeah.
Dandenong Thunder, the heirs apparent to the Premier League title, will travel and play at South Melbourne at the Lakeside, 5 o'clock, the late game on Sunday in the Victorian Premier League round 19.
CT will do his own again. They'll knock them off at the moment. They're form. They'll be coming and obviously playing against us last week 5-0. I'm tipping they're pretty high. Will they get a kick in their guts and bring them down a level? I doubt it.
I reckon it'll be a draw.
Actually, that was in the back of my mind, but we'll go with Dan and give them a nudge.
Now, dispirited, you said the boys were last weekend against Dandenong Thunder. Does it make any difference that they're coming back home for the second last, the penultimate home game of the season? Doug, stop waving your big fat digit at me because I'm just in the middle of doing something. Just put it down. Put it down. Put it down.
I had a thought.
Put your digits on.
This is the local derby.
Heidelberg against Northcote City. And now this is our live broadcast game on the internet on Sunday. Dougie and I will be there. It's going to be
We're going off.
Our second last game of the season. Olympic Village, Sunday, 3 o'clock. You can put your digit down and say whatever you wish.
This is going to be a tough game. Greeks versus the Greeks. Is it a South Derby? No, but there's a bit of
local flavour
there and good spirit.
Yep.
Ironically enough, Northern Greeks.
Well,
how good am I?
How good are you? Love it, Blakey, love it. But there's going to, now I don't know obviously how many Greeks are in Northcote's team, but I'm tipping if it is, and this is not right, it's good rivalry, it's good, they're going to want to beat the Burgers because of the Greeks mentality, that's what it's about, beating Heidelberg because we have been the best, we still are the best. I know we're not sharp, but we still are.
Yeah, how many National League seasons did you play, Northcote? Get stuffed.
There you go, straight from Blakey. Have a bit of that.
Stuffed
I reckon this is going to be a great game. If you can't get there, listen to Blakey and I, but I have to admit, this is going to be a cracker.
And is my really good old mate Peter Katsira still in charge of it?
He's actually president.
Yeah, Pete Cotsy, if I see you on Sunday, get stuffed.
Yeah.
He's a
wonderful man.
He's a couple.
Wonderful football person.
Yeah,
he's a right
has been for a long time.
I've got to say, if we can knock over Iraklis, as they are in, because Alexander was playing Iraklis, we can actually overtake more Zebras. For the first time in a long time.
Since the time when we could have overtaken them by not getting beaten 4-0 at home by the second bottom side. Oh mate, how embarrassment! And that was of course Chris May's defining. Oh yeah. And just quickly to JFOT.
Well, there's also before our next show, we've got the semi-final.
Yeah, that's what we're going to. This is a big look. Again, if we're looking forward, okay, there's a big cash prize to be gotten if Alexander can win this cup competition. It is a massive deal for a club that's on the cusp of relegation. So we're into the last four and the big semi-final of this mosaic of a cup series, if you will, is...
It's next Tuesday night. Now, here's the draw. Next Tuesday night, down at Port Melbourne's ground, which is SSN.
Nice ground too. Nice surface.
The Burgers take on Dandenong Thunder, so a chance to get one back.
I think there'll be a bit of football being played because
both sides play on Sunday, so we'll have the equal amount of break. In fact, the Burgers will have 2 hours extra break.
Well played, Burgers.
Okay, so
what it's worth.
So that's down at Port Melbourne, Anderson Reserve by the Bay. It is a beautiful ground to go and visit.
Nice.
7:30 next Tuesday evening. That's the 21st of August.
And the other one, the other final, semi-final, will be between Port Melbourne and Sunshine Georgies, which will be at Heidelberg's ground.
And they can both get stuffed, all right? I mean, that's sort of move, because I'm sensing the anger that's emanated my way.
And tell me something, the winners out of these two then play the final.
No, I think they have a round of them. And then a best of 5 final series.
Best of 13 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
no, as long as it'll be a best of 4.
So.
And the FFE can get
we need to speak to the Swede in the powers of being, see if we are going to do the Tuesday show, Blakey.
Yes.
Can we run it? If you aren't going to get there, can we run it? So stay tuned, because it will be on the Heidelberg website if we can or can't.
If we can or can't.
And we'll put that on there. We'll get Sweetie to put it on the website, Facebook. Go on Tuesday and see if we can. There's a little box there.
There is a press box.
But we'll see what they've got.
Now this has been a long, laborious, sad, and sometimes ugly show tonight. We apologise for that. I meant ugly, not in the. I'm not in the.
I will get better.
So you better go. Doug's done it hard under extreme duress. He's been through another series of operations for his
I'm here, mate.
but he's fantastic, and we've got to go to his shirt before we know it. And JFOT's really taken it hard with the big week and the 5-0 defeat and a couple of the other things. So guys, great job for getting in here tonight. Thank you for
And for you, Blakey, I know you do it tough.
I'll be back.
You're working a lot of hours, you work with...
I'm going to go and throw in a few Xanax. Happy as a clam. We do not advocate drug use on any level unless it's for me. Canesi Live, or Dougie because he's injured, or JFOT who's got this hideous thing on his head for weeks and weeks. It'll grow out.
I need a sedative after
Blake Swan Dips, Petters Heidelberg Heights, Froster Group, Chimneys, Boost Juice at Doncaster and Frankston, Prime Plastic Bags, ANZ Bank Northland, Canesi Live. And let's go on a really pleasant note, something we always look forward to. It's of course Dougie's flamboyant shirt.
You know what, as a shirt, and like you've got to seen over the weeks, guys, I've wore some that look like this and look like that. This one actually feels good.
And you've been wasting a little bit. A little bit of man love to you, looking good.
Well, I've lost a bit of weight. This one is original. Let's spin. I'll say milk turn quicker. There we go. Patrick Berger. This is an original. And this shirt is fully signed by Liverpool. And this shirt, Patrick Berger, when I met him, this is in 1997, I was at Liverpool's Christmas do. Got invited over there for Jamie Randap and Dom Hutchison, who was at Sheffield. Went there, name dropping, stayed at Jamie's place. Just, that's all right. Didn't see Louise that night. We went there for tea later on. But anyway, so no more name dropping. But mate, what a night! Stan Collymore, Michael Owen, Bella. Anyway, I hit it off with Razor Rubber. The white suits they had, Razor had it. I just ripped it clean off his shoulders. Me and Razor was just. There was women involved on stage doing dancing. Patrick Berger was dressed up in a sailor's outfit. It was fancy dressed. I was a copper, fancy dressed. So here's this Patrick Berger, good looking bloke, in a sailing outfit which every woman would to die for. But what they had to
most
do,
men at the party would have turned for
him as well. And what it was every new player that comes to Liverpool, this is true facts guys, they have to get up at their Christmas do and sing a song. So here he is up there, in the Navy, watch out for those 7 trees in the Navy. And everyone's got pints of beer. And you know where them pints of beer were going? Over in the Navy. He was getting wet, the waves were coming over, they were going Worcester. He was covered in beer. But that's Patrick's shirt. That was one of the best nights of my career because I got there, it was a midweek and Howard Kendall let me go. And we were running late for training, and I was meant to be, we rang him at 10 o'clock, said, Gaffer, we're stuck on the M62, me and Hutch going back, and I got there and the keg was fantastic, he gives me the nod, he said, that wasn't son. I said, Gaffer, magnificent. So when I went to go and have a sweat, get all the grog out, and it was fantastic. So, Patrick Berger's original Liverpool shirt, and by the way, I feel pretty good in it actually.
And that, my friends, is the definitive version of professional football in England.
Yes, that's Christmas.
And this has been the definitive version of the locker room with John Foddinos, Doug Hodgson. On behalf of the team, this is Greg Blake saying good evening, and we'll see you on Sunday for the big one. United against Northcote City at the Village.
And Dougie, you'll never